Hello, welcome to my crafty desk. My name is Sandra, and I was just working on this journal I'm doing for my sister. It's kind of a friendship sympathy type journal, memory keepsake for a friend of hers. My sister got a hold of me and asked me if I could please, if I had time, which, oh my gosh, I am making the time because this is important, and this is not something I would ever regret doing, taking a time off from something else for a moment to make something. And I'm sure many people can appreciate that. I think the older that we get, for sure anyways, is where we see those moments are so important. Can't go back and change some of the things that I've put off before and then never got back to, but I just don't want to do that anymore. If I don't have to, I really just don't want to do that. So this is the journal that we were making. We'd already chosen the papers. I've done some work on it already. And I was working on it again this morning and then thought, oh, I'm in a little bit of a mood of it, so let's, in the flow of it. So let me get this camera turned on. So I did make a cover for it. This is, if you remember, this is the journal that we were working on. It's not sewn in yet, but we were getting there. And I've picked some things. So I've taken the pages and I've done some sewing on the inside on some of the pages. I made a cover for it, and I just used one of those, what are they called? They're just an envelope, the large envelopes, and you can buy them. I buy them at the dollar store. They're like 3 in a pack, and they're large. So when you fold them in half, this is just folded in half. So when it's folded in half, let me show you. It measures whoops, let me see. So it measures, it's 9 inches. And then when I fold it in half, it's going to be, well, there's a ruffle there. So it's about 6 inches, 6.5, maybe 6. So it's perfect for the sizes that I like to work with, and compatible. So now I did find some fabric that I sewed on, and I did not glue it all the way underneath. I just left it loose. I've never done that before, and I just kind of wanted to see how that would work. And I thought this would be a good time to try that. So 'cause I kind of like how it's, how it moves. So I just sewed that in there. Sewed it on. I put the fabric on. I put a little bit of glue here and there just to kind of hold it still, and then I folded it over to have a nice clean edge there. And as you can tell right here, you can see that I am not a master sewer, so I know there's a better way to do that, but I did not do that. This is the way I did it. I went around it 3 times on the outside, all the way around the journal cover to get it sewn down. Then I went and took some of the fabric and I made ruffles with it, and that's sewing. I made the ruffles through my sewing machine, and then I attached the ruffles. So see, here it is right here. Then I took it after I sewed it, and then I attached it with some of the Magnatac glue here, Fabri-Tac, Magnatac type of glue. And then it will give it, the reason why I put the ruffle on there, not just for decorative purposes, just so you know, is because, let me see, let me scoot you down here a little bit because we're gonna get close. My pages, I forgot to trim them down before I sewed them, and so they stick out a little bit from the journal. So now I'm gonna put the ruffle on there, and that just builds my cover out. And then inside here, I'll put, like on the pages that really pop out, I'll put some other things just to kind of help safeguard it. Does that make sense? I don't even know if I'm using the right words. It's very early in the morning. But so here we go. The inside I did sew down these little, it was like a round, like a doily that I had in my stash. And so I ironed it and cut it in half, and then I sewed it before I glued it down. So I sewed around the edges, I cut it and sewed it, and I wanted to make sure so that it doesn't fray. I did not glue down here yet. Not even on camera. I did not glue down here yet because I may want to tuck something underneath here before I glue it down, and I don't know yet. So, but then this will be a pocket, and then of course the signature will be sewn in, and then this is the cover. So that's what I'm working on. So now I think we're in good form here. So I thought I really liked that other fabric or that stamped image that we made the other day on a previous video. This one right here, I really like that. So I thought I'd kind of follow that concept somewhat. And I went in my stamps and I found this one right here. And I started, and I found a piece of the card board that I tore up. I put a little bit of gesso paint on there just to kind of, I don't know if I need that white to kind of pop it out. And then this bow, I took off some stationery. I think when I was choosing the papers, and I thought, oh, I would really like that bow. So I'm kind of thinking I want to put it on here somehow on the front. I just think it's so cute. And it kind of looks, I don't know, it looks like a cross, looks like a bow. So I do like this, and I like this. I stamped this on some of that fibery kind of paper that I mentioned, that I said we're gonna play with that I got from Hobby Lobby, you know, and it has these wonderful fibers. I love it. And it's heavy. It's a heavier duty paper. So of course I used my archival ink pad to stamp it, and because it's a permanent waterproof ink. And then when I put the matte medium on there to seal it, it's not going to smear my ink anywhere. I don't have to worry about being too careful. Now I think that gesso is just a little bit too bright. So I did get a new sponge that's not going to be crummy, really too crumbly. And now I'm going to tone that down. It's like put the white on, take the white off, but you see, it's just going to help pull them together, I think. So although I think I don't know if I'm loving the vintage photo, and I think it's because I've probably added another color in there, like to re-ink it. I find when I'm re-inking things sometimes that it's a different color. Has anybody else come across that? Like it's not the same color that my pad started out with, so which is fine. It's just color. Just go with it. This one is the I'm going to use the antique linen distress oxide. I'm just kind of putting some of this color on there. Oh, and on my fingers too, I guess. It's a little bit of finger painting. Let's see how that. I kind of like that. Oh, it looks like I'm still not getting quite the effect that I want, so I'll just take that off a little bit. I have a wet one right here, my little baby wipe. And then so I have, oops, goodness gracious. Maybe it needs to be a little bit darker instead of the vintage photo. So let's try the walnut stain and see. Oh yeah, that might be it. And then where did I do with that wet one? Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. That's not helpful. So okay, let's see. Okay, I'm liking that better, so let's see. I'm gonna try, before I just put the ink on that one, I'm gonna grab another piece and just see if I like this. What's this wet one? Like, does that look too dirty? I think it kind of picks up these dark browns, and I do like that, so maybe just add a little bit of this around the edges. And then the vintage photo kind of bleeds up into that, which is nice. I like that. And then I still have some of that white on there, which at this moment in time, it's like a creamy white now, so it's kind of picking up that. I'm okay with all that. I'm okay with it right now. We'll see later. Or we'll forget. One of those. We'll do one of them. So I've got some book page here, and I've got some of this, oh my gosh, use your words. I cannot think. Shorthand? Is that what it is? Shorthand. Let's see. Is shorthand different now that it's on that everybody's doing it on computers? Like, is there a different type? It's like, I never learned shorthand. I have my own shorthand. and I don't know how to read it. I always think I'm gonna know how to read it when I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, I'll know what I meant by that. I can get a few words. If I can get enough words, I can probably figure it out, but sometimes I can't. One of my old bosses used to ask, because I'd have to take notes on things, and she'd like, oh, did you take notes on this, or do you have that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And she'd come back out, she's like, I need your help with something. And I would go in her office, and she would say, I have no idea what you wrote here. Can you tell me? And I'm like, oh, sure. And she'd give it to me, and I'd look at it, I'm like, I absolutely can't tell you. I'm so sorry. So I have to go look at it. Let me look at it for a minute and see if I can try to figure it out. It's just the world, everything just moves so fast, and I just couldn't keep up, you know? So yeah, okay, see, I like the different writings, the different textures. I like that. That will work for me. Okay. And let's see. So what do I want to do here? I want to keep that like that, but I don't want this to be, I want this to be on there. I want this to be on here like this, and I want this to be on here like that, or like that. Am I just not liking that edge? What's going on with me here? Does it need the whole thing that big? I don't think so. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm gonna tear at some point here. I want this to be like that, down a little bit, maybe a little bit smaller. And then that's gonna be right here like that. And then this is gonna be a little bit smaller too. So, let's see how this is working out. And then we have that. That can come down. This can come over. Whoops. I want the book page is a little bit more fragile, so I really want it to be on there. And then I feel like that can go like that. 264. I don't think I need that number on there. Okay. I like that. So I need to just get some glue on there so it doesn't move anymore on me for a moment. Except for the fact that I wanted to ink it. So I'm just gonna hold that like that. And I'm going to, of course I want the darker one, so, and I don't have a sponge handy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, because I don't really want it to be super grungy, I just want it to have some dimension. You know, I just want that to pop out a little bit off the cover. Does anybody else craft like this? Okay, so let's just, that goes there, covering up the number, and comes down, there we go. We're just gonna stick with it. You know, there's no right or wrong. There just is. It's whatever's pretty to the eye. Oh my goodness. That's what happens when you leave your glue bottle, your thing off too long. But not to worry. Let's just stick a pin in it. Let's get it cleaned. And then I can't stick that back in my pin because otherwise it won't come out. I have to clean it first. So there we go. And we'll just pop that back in the tomato. So I'm going to glue this down to there, and this to there, like so. Sorry, just gotta check the time and see where we're at. I got that down and that down. So I'm liking that, and I'm liking that. Okay, so since this is all paper, I'm just gonna go ahead and, whoops, you know, make a mess. I'm gonna put a fair amount of glue on here. I don't want this thing popping off. I've never had that experience so far with the stuff, but I'm not taking a chance now, you know. Especially, I mean, well, on anything, but especially on something that has so much sentiment, you know, with this, with a memory journal. There we go. Likey, likey. Yes, I do. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use the same glue because, again, it's all paper. We'll see. I don't really want to open up that Fabri-Tac right now, so I get it. I'm at the end of my bottles, and I've had them open, and as the air gets in there, it changes the texture of the glue somewhat, and it gets thicker, is what happens. And I just get it everywhere, and then I stick to absolutely everything. Everything goes flying. It's crazy. It's just that pure madness, and so I just can't do the madness right now. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Okay. I like that a lot. So what I'm going to do now is, while I have it out, find my lid here. I'm going to put that away. Get this lid on here. And what did I do with my wipey? Did I lose it again? Oh, I used it for the ink, didn't I? There we go. So I'm going to just clean that off. And then I'm just going to give it a pop. Just kind of, I don't know if it helps it. It makes me feel better. All right, there we go. Shoo, back to it. I've got my little water here. Oops, my little cup of water. It's got a little tiny dab of dish soap in there, which doesn't bother me. I like it. I feel like it keeps my brushes cleaner. And then this is the napkin that I just keep that close by. Get my brush wet. And then I'm going to get my Liquitex, the matte medium, and I'm just going to, well, I guess I'll give it a quick little shake. Does it say to shake it up? Sometimes it says don't shake stuff up, but I feel like anything that's water-based might need a little bit of a shakety shake. Okay, well, all right, and then peel the little glue glob off. I'm just gonna put a little bit right here on my book, and I'm gonna pick that up, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and start painting this on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come underneath here and get that page first. And the Tim Holtz inks that I just used, those are not a permanent ink, so that might get smeary. You can see right now how it's getting smeary, so that's kind of, be mindful of that, because if you want that age to look like that, then that's in yellowing of the paper, that's what's going to happen. If you don't want that, then you might want to do something different or pick a different type of ink to use. The archival inks, they have tons of colors, so you can do the same types of things and around the edges and use those colors if you don't want to have anything smeary, blendy. So it's really just that simple. This dries pretty quickly, and then I'm going to take it over. Well, I think I want to get another little spot of glue, or what is this? Whatever this is. Liquitex matte medium to seal my project. And it's going to dry in a matte finish, so I know that those edges are going to be, see how that's going to pick up a little bit. So I'm going to do those first, and then just get there we go. And then I'm going to just rinse that off a little bit. And then I'm going to pick up some more glue and possibly a thread. There we go. And then I'm just going to go over that. Oops, see, I picked up a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. It all comes together. Oops. So, there we go. So this stamp says, for God, or so sorry. So, for with God, nothing shall be impossible. That's pretty. I like that. Oops, and my sister said she will like that. These types of things, so that's good. I'm just going to use up the rest of that glue and make sure I got it good on this paper. There we go. And just like that. Okay, that's going to go back in there, and then at the end of the day, I'll use this paper towel here, maybe another one, and I'll soak up all the gluey water after. Actually, I use the same water for a couple days with the glue if I'm gluing a lot, and I actually soak it all up with this, and then I throw this away. I think last time I said I dump it outside, but I don't. I was dumping it outside one day, and I thought, you know, I don't know if that's good, so I don't want to do that. So I just soak it all up with my towels, and then I just let my towels dry with my glass that's after I clean it, and my brushes. I just let them all dry, and then it's crispy, but it still works. And I just keep reusing that. So I thought I would correct that little tidbit that I had said before. Now, that is going to be a mess. So I'm going to toss that. And I'm going to put that aside to dry. And that's going to go there. And I think at this moment, so I know I want to put some lace on the spine after I do the sewing the signature in. So I don't really want to put this on at the moment. But I like this together. What do you think about that? I think that's going to work pretty darn nice. So we got that part done. And let me just set this aside to dry someplace where I'm not going to lose it, because that's been my issue. Moving things, putting things someplace, and I don't know where they are. Now, let's see what we can do in here real quick before our time's up. So I sewed around all the printed images that we got out of the 12 by 12 paper pad, and I did the same stitch on all of them, and I just sewed tracing paper on it. So, and then I just like the way it feels. It just gives it some more texture. So this pocket, I was going to put the pocket of this wallpaper down. However, I got pretty excited about everything I was doing, and I didn't think to measure how wide the pocket needed to be this way. And I had already sewed it down to my cards, these coffee dyed index cards that I used a stencil on, also with coffee dyeing. I was going to trim the edges off, but I liked, so I could have this look right here. Anyhow, that's fine. We're going to just change it up. We're just going to go ahead and I think I'm going to put it on here on the coffee dye paper on that side. Is I going to do that, or is I going to go this side? I think that's a lot going on. Yeah, that's a lot going on. We're going to stick over here to this side. So, I mean, I know I did the tracing paper, but I kind of think I like that, the white with the white. What do you think? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and trim this, or leave this on. I'm going to put a little thumbprint there, a little thumb thingamajigger there. So let's get to my little thumb punch. My giant one, I guess. And we're just going to put like a little impression there, just for like, we can put a tag in it. And then we can ink around. I think I'm going to use the dark. I'm not liking that vintage photo. I think I just need to get a new vintage photo. So then we're going to trade this one out for this walnut, and we're just going to go around the edge, do that. Okay, now that that is done, I think I'm gonna put that there. So now this is gonna be a pocket. We're gonna make a tag for this, and then I'm gonna leave this like this, the wallpaper, and then that way it could be a belly band, and it's already decorated, beautiful. I think I'm gonna try really hard to not over decorate and overdo it. It's like, save that for my own journals, right? No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes people want to do their own thing or they don't want it too full, but I suppose I wouldn't make journals for people who didn't want journals from me, and I wouldn't sell journals to people who didn't like the style that I do. And I think that's important to remember, is to stay within what I like to do. I have a lot of fun crafting and making things, as long as I'm loving what I'm doing. And when I'm doing something, when I get too specific on something else that somebody else wants or likes or don't like, and always trying to think about those things. Not that I like for specific journals, I guess for custom journals, I still enjoy making the journal for the person. I just don't enjoy the process. And I want to enjoy it. I want to do what I love. I want to do what makes me happy. And I want to make other people happy. And I want to get my projects done. So I'm only going to do it if I enjoy it, right? And that's okay. That's okay. There's plenty of artists out there that make all different types of journals. And you may like an element that somebody's doing, but you may not like the process in which they do it or the colors, and that's okay. You just go find, like, if you like this but you don't like the coffee dyed card, then get something else and put that on there. Just take the ideas and run with it. It's kind of like, have you ever watched those shows where they redo spaces, houses, or inside decorating and things like that, and in the beginning you're just like, oh my gosh, it's horrible, and then you watch it, and then when it's all done, you're like, okay, it all came together. I love that. But I wouldn't use that color. It's kind of like that. Or the people that can't see past the plan, I don't know if that makes any sense what I'm talking about. But get that on there. I like that. And honestly, I probably should wait to put these on there until I sew this in there, but I know that I want that there, and I don't think it's gonna do anything to it. So, made one for the back here as well. And I kind of want it to mimic this side, so it's torn there, solid there. And then this side, I'm gonna just make a label, and I think what I'll do is I'll make this so it can be a side here, and then we'll put some lace up there. Do I want to punch that? I don't think so. Right. Oh my gosh, contemplating. I feel like it's so close to the edge. Let me see. Should I just make this into a pocket? Yep, I'm gonna glue that down. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll leave this as a belly band, and then I'll just use this piece right here, and I'll create a little pocket on top. Please help me remember that. I'm not gonna remember. Let me cut these little strings off. Scissors. Whoops. All right. Messy madness. All right. Oh, and I went off the screen again. Sheesh. Lordy. Help me. All right. Let's get this girl on there. And I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to glue it completely down. So we're just going to go all the way around. I'm just going to go right through the threads. And I'm going to go ahead and go over those because I'm sealing the whole thing down, so it's fine. There we go. And then just a little added glue. I don't really need too much, I don't think. I don't think anybody's putting this in the washing machine. So I kind of want to line it up to that. I don't really want to line it fully to my sewing. I'm trying to go to the edge because I don't sew very straight, I don't think. So there we go. And then just press that down. Maybe use a little thingy-majiggy here. What's this? I don't even know. Okay, but it helps. Get that glue. There we go. We've got a couple more pockets. Or decorations on this. And then I'm going to keep working on this even after I leave the camera, and then we'll pick back up on the next one to do this. I was going to sew this on camera, but I think I'm not going to do that on this one just because I have a lot going on my desk right now, and I also need to start working on, go back to working on the journal giveaway journals. So, and I want to do a video on that to show you what the next one is going to be. And then get a video posted so that you can comment underneath it and somebody can win it, because I want to give those journals away. So I just want to say thanks for hanging out with me, and I'm going to go ahead and get this sewn in. I might do a couple more things before I get back on the camera with you all, and we'll just pick up from where we left off. Thank you for hanging out, and see you on the next video. Bye.